Fred MacGuffin reviews Deadly Friend from 1986, and this is a spoiler review, written and directed by Wes Craven, a horror legend. You may have seen some of his movies: Last House on the Left, Hills of Eyes 1 and 2, Swamp Thing, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Serpent and the Rainbow, Shocker, People Under the Stairs, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Red Eye. So he's left his mark on horror and cinema in general. And this isn't one of his better movies. And yeah, it was interfered with by the studio, who wanted more gore from him, or from this movie. They wanted to put more gore in. They wanted to make it a Nightmare on Elm Street gore fest. And he didn't want to make that movie. His original vision was a PG rated supernatural sci-fi thriller, and this is drama, this is horror, and this is sci-fi. We have Paul and his mother, Jeannie Conway. They just moved into a new town, and Matthew Labiorto plays Paul, and you may have seen him in Little House on the Prairie. And he's a computer genius, a robotic genius. He's been invited to go to the university by Dr. Johansson, and yeah, robotics is his thing. We see a scene of him lecturing other students, and Matthew Laborto was also in Little House on the Prairie. He gets to know some people around the area. His neighbor is played by Christy Swanson, who plays Samantha. You may have seen her in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dude, Where's My Car, Flowers in the Attic, Hot Shots, Higher Learning, and Big Daddy. And he also gets to know a local paper boy, whose name is Tom, and he's played by Michael Sharrett, who was also in Savage Dawn, Kill Me Again, Theodore Rex. And they all get to know his robot BB. BB is his companion, his friend, and pretty impressive robot that he's built himself. But from the very start, we figure out that BB has anger management problems, especially if you break into Paul's car. Through the movie, we learn that Samantha has a abusive father, and Richard Marcus plays Harry Pringle, and he was also in St. Elsewhere, Tremors, and The Pretender. And we also meet Elvira, who's played by Anne Ramsey, and she's a bit of a mean neighbor that they throw a basketball in her garden and she doesn't give it back. That type of neighbor. And you may have seen Anne Ramsey in Throw Mama from the Train, The Goonies, Scrooged, Any Which Way You Can. As the movie goes on, Samantha gets pushed down the stairs by her father, and she dies. So what does Paul decide to do? He decides to implant a robotic microchip into her brain, and she comes back uh, as the deadly friend. She's half robot, half human, and she and you don't want to get on her bad side, especially if yeah, vengeance comes to their neighborhood, and Samantha gets her own back on some of the bad eggs in the neighborhood. This is famous for a unusual basketball scene where a basketball can do more damage than you think if it's thrown at you. So be careful. Be careful out there, basketball fans. Um, Yeah, this is a decent sort of so good it's bad type movie. There's some laughs to be had. Yeah, it's definitely not up to you know Wes Craven's usual standards. And what Wes Craven and his co-writer Bruce Joel Rubin had envisioned was was putting the primary focus on the love story between Paul and Samantha, as well as a secondary focus on the adults around them and how they are truly monsters inside themselves. And that's a bit of a quote there from IMDb. And yeah, this is enjoyable. I wanted to see this for a long time, and yeah, it kept me entertained. And it's one of these movies. Again, it would be good for a late night party with friends and having a few drinks and wanting something to have a giggle at. But it does have some likable characters, and yeah, only a movie like this could come from the 80s. And a bit of trivia for you: the screening of this before it opened, when they were getting when the studio was getting trying to get feedback from an audience, it was full of Nightmare on Elm Street fans. So they wanted more gore, and the studio decided to change the first cut, Wes Craven's first cut of the movie, and you know add scenes and push for more gore. So it does feel like a compromised vision. And more trivia: Wes Craven decided to wash his hands of it and and not take any credit for it. So yeah, a compromised vision from Wes Craven from 1986. But look, if you're a Wes Craven completist, you'll be entertained. It was it's a fun time. I give this. I'm gonna look. It's Wes Craven. I feel like giving it a three, but I'm going to give it a two and a half. A two and a half out of five. BB, yeah, it's endearing. Characters are endearing. BB's endearing. Elvira's endearing, and yeah, yeah, it's not all bad. Fred MacGuffin reviews Deadly Friend.